Kim Se-in receives a notification on his status window, just as he had expected, that the game he has been playing for 10 years has finally come to an end. However, he feels empty and decides to kill himself rather than being terminated alone in a vanishing world. However, as he attempts to stab himself, the status window opens, telling him that the DLC store will open because he cleared single mode. He checks the DLC store to find out that he can purchase a second chance package that allows him to start the game all over with many benefits attached. He gets shocked seeing this and wonders why a feature like this, which can only be activated after the whole game is cleared, appeared after he has cleared just a single mode. He smirks and decides to purchase with the points he had been gathering over the time he had been playing the game. He is determined to flip the game board upside down this time and change everything from the beginning, and also change this shitty ending. The process begins and suddenly he meets himself sitting in a college environment. Jisoo comes over to meet him. She is a close younger friend he met in college who always came to talk to him whenever he was alone. He later finds out that he is back to August 17, the day it all started. He is surprised that he really came back to the beginning. He thought it was just an illusion. Classes would be starting in a week, and Jisoo asks him if he would be willing to move seats to avoid Lee Jong-yeon, who always disturbs her. Just as she talks, she sees something strange which she concludes must be a movie being filmed. However, it was the same thing that happened 10 years ago, when the game was about to begin. Some little monsters called goblins appear. Everyone thinks they are just costumes, while some think that a movie is being filmed, and they decide to go and have a look. Jisoo tells Se-in that they should go and watch too, but he delays her, trying to prevent what happened 10 years ago, when Jisoo dragged him to go and look at the monsters. Suddenly, one of the monsters stabs a person, and everyone begins to run. However, that was the worst choice to make. From Se-in's experience, the goblins had less strength than an average adult male, so they mainly targeted the weak who tried to run away. Jisoo grabs his hand, telling him that they should run, but suddenly, a goblin appears before them. 10 years ago, Jisoo died while trying to protect him. However, this time, he won't let this end like the last time. He attacks the goblin and kills it, thus earning him some points. When a quest is cleared, points are earned which can be used to either increase skills or purchase items from the DLC store. There's an announcement that everyone has been invited to the Game of Gods in which they have become players, and are to clear all of the main quests, which if they fail to do, will attract a penalty. Se-in has to be careful and act as though he knows nothing about the game to avoid drawing a lot of attention from the gods. Observers, the eyes of the gods and the game manager, are everywhere, monitoring everything, and if he appears even a little suspicious, the difficulty of the quests may be affected. The first main quest is that they should escape the college campus in 2 days. They are expected to either kill the goblins or avoid them to successfully escape the campus. Se-in, using his knowledge of the game to his advantage, grabs Jisoo by her hand and runs to the safety zone, an area where monsters can't come in. The goblins chasing them turn back, and Se-in thinks of arming Jisoo properly so she can take care of a goblin by herself. After a while, as Lee Jong-yeon and another lady try to escape from some goblins, suddenly and quite shockingly, Jisoo attacks and kills the goblins. 3 hours earlier, while Se-in thinks of arming Jisoo properly, he is very careful and can't do much because there are so many eyes watching. The gods watch players with observers for only one reason, because it's fun. They choose their favorite players and make them their avatars and then watch the avatars carry out the quests while they just enjoy the game. Se-in waits for the personal observer of the GM of Korea, Akaters, to leave, and as soon as it leaves, he decides to check the DLC store, but he discovers a web browser that features the game community used by the gods for making comments about the game. He sees this as an important tool for digging out information and decides to check periodically. He checks the DLC store and he sees the multiplayer package, which allows him to create a party and recruit party members. Meanwhile, the other players discover that they can take care of the monsters as a team, so they gather and start to attack the goblins together. Se-in equips Jisoo with a knife, a VIP brooch which allows speedy recovery and increases the acquisition of points by 20%, and other important items. They leave the safety zone, and he tells her that she should remember to focus on defense. The gods discuss, and Akaters tells others about a human he is interested in, Chien Sol-seong. Se-in tells Jisoo about the need to kill the goblin leader if they must escape the college campus, and tells her about his plan to do so using the items he got from the DLC store. First, Jisoo would use the perfume of temptation to attract weak monsters around herself, luring the goblins to one side. Then, once she's about to get caught, she would use the invisibility potion which allows her to disappear for 5 minutes. Then he will take care of the rest from there. Jisoo does what she is told. It is at that time she saves Lee Jongyun and the lady by killing the goblins that were chasing them. Suddenly, she notices her breathing getting weird. She sees the goblins going after San and decides to use the potions given to her to stop them. Meanwhile, San approaches the goblin leader and soon begins to attack it. He first increases his agility with some points and launches an attack at it. He sees the hobgoblin's sword, which left many victims in his first round of the game, and he is determined not to let it happen again. He increases his strength and throws a stone at its hand, causing the sword to fall off. He then takes the sword and lands a final attack on it. He acquires the hobgoblin's girdle with a lot of bonus points as a reward. He quickly leaves the scene before the observer comes to prevent being discovered to have killed the hidden boss. He goes looking for Jisoo and finds it weird that there are no goblins around. He soon sees the goblins running away out of fear and wonders what is happening. He almost starts to regret that he left Jisoo alone only for him to discover that she is the reason the goblins were running. He is shocked to see that Jisoo took care of many goblins all by herself and wonders how she did it. He requests to check her status window and discovers she has Chien Sol Seong, an extremely rare S-ranked passive skill. He has seen it before in his first round in an existence called Hilma from a world called Jin where martial arts existed. He concludes that this was the reason the goblins ran away. However, those who possess this skill tend to lose themselves if they don't control the power properly. He decides to keep watch on her to prevent that from happening. However, he thinks that possessing a skill like that from the start is a huge merit. He then asks her to sign a contract with him to become one of his party members in his multiply package. He aims to become stronger than he was in his past life, and this would mean forming a very strong team. He adds her to his party and tries to share skills, but can't since he doesn't have any special skills yet. He walks up to Lee Jongyun and asks him why he is there alone with the lady, separated from the other groups. Lee Jongyun tells him that he was ordered to scout the area with the lady, and one of them is to report if anything happens to the other. San thinks that the person who ordered them and can unite people who were so panicked to fight the goblins must be smart and must have leadership capabilities. He then asks Lee Jongyun to take him to the person. Lee Jongyun immediately puffs up and refuses, but soon agrees to guide them when he discovers that he is the weakest among them and would be killed by the goblins if he doesn't stay with them. He takes them to the gymnasium where the others are. A lot of people are injured and Sahan is surprised by how someone who also must have panicked saved and evacuated these people to a safe place. He discovers that it is the student president, Yoon Hyun-gun, although, according to the first round, he died from the hobgoblin. San thinks that the people are still in the gymnasium because they don't yet know that they will die if they stay there. He suspects that Yoon Hyun-gun must have received many avatar requests already, but is yet to accept the invitations, seeing how many avatars are constantly following him. Sans walks up to him and tells him that everyone needs to get out of there, since the goblins are still confused due to their boss death, which gives them the chance to quickly get out of the campus before their next actions. He emphasizes that the quest is not survival or fight but escape, and brings his attention to the time limit. He further tells him that someone must have put all of them in the game for his fun, and is definitely not interested in their well-being, so he must be getting bored already with the people's comfort. However, Park Dong-won, the student vice president, suddenly interferes and discourages Yoon Hyun-gun from listening to San, pretending to care for everyone. He says that they should wait for the rescue instead. San is shocked to see him. Park Dong-won was the one who made his life difficult in his past life. He is a psycho who went around causing disputes among group members, and he slips out after watching them fight, a monster wearing a human mask. San won't let him have his way this time. Jisoo tells them that the police and army won't be coming anyway since they can't contact them. Park Dong-won still opposes the idea that everyone should leave the gym. While San knows that his real motive is to massacre everyone and receive a reward based on how many deaths he causes. Yoon Hyun-gun decides that he would leave too and Park Dong-won follows suit. They lead everyone out of the gym, however, they fear that the goblins will attack them, but Sahan assures them that they should be able to get out quickly if nothing new happens, since the goblins don't attack people in groups. Unfortunately, as they approach the main gate, the quest's difficulty is raised from E to D, and a sentinel suddenly appears, a Minotaurus. Sahan is quite shocked to see a Minotaurus appearing in the first main quest, when it originally ought not to appear till the 15th main quest. Sentinels are very difficult to defeat, unlike the hobgoblins, which can be taken down if the players unite. However, Saiyan knows that the Sentinel's strength will have a limit since it is the first main quest. Even though the Minotaur's is a C-rank monster, he won't exceed the F-rank skill. Park Dongguan tries to tell everyone to run, but Jisoo stops him, knowing that the Minotaurs generally follow the characteristics of a cow. They only attack when everyone starts to run. Nevertheless, some people try to run, but they are killed by the Sentinel. Saiyan thinks of what to do to get everyone to escape and decides to use himself as bait to lure the Minotaur away so others can run to the main gate. Yoon Hyun-gun is surprised by his level of calmness and efficiency in managing the situation. Meanwhile, Park Dong-guan feels disappointed that he can't monopolize the reward in this quest, but he doesn't have a choice. He can't defeat the Minotaur alone. Sen grabs red clothing and deflects the Minotaur's attention to himself, while others start to run toward the main gate. The Minotaur attempts several attacks at Saiyan, but he dodges them. Everyone gets to the main gate safely, leaving only Saiyan inside. Yoon Hyun-gun decides to go help Saiyan escape, but finds out he can't go back since he already cleared the previous stage. Saiyan gets hit by the Minotaur, and Yoon Hyun-gun begins to feel sorry for him and promises not to let his sacrifice go to waste. Seeing that no observers are watching, Saiyan prepares to fight the Minotaurs properly. Will Saiyan defeat the Minotaur very easily, just as he killed the Goblin leader? Let us know if you want part 2 in the comments section. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you guys in the next video.